All right, welcome to this video about, well, I'll call it, I think what Mahatma Gandhi said, being the change you want to see in the world. I think it's more appropriate to say embodying the change you want to see in the world. So, first of all, this morning I measured my system again, and it's at 40 watts less. So the first day I had 30 watt savings. The second day was 20 watt savings, and now it's 40 watt savings. So it's fluctuating a bit. Hopefully the system is building its plasma, and it should continue to go up, or the savings go up. But I wanted to talk about something in light of what is happening or happened in Paris. And of course, these kind of things get blown up into the news. Everybody wants to talk about it, and that's the idea. But first of all, I want to go say, I mean, everybody and every human being and every creature on earth that gets killed is a big thing. So there's no small talking about any of this. So my compassion goes out to all the people that were left behind because of the disasters. But I do want to come to some more truthful points about this, because, you know, we can really whine about some of these things sometimes. In the meantime, we leave other things completely out. And one of the things is that these things are happening every single day, everywhere. Not just to humans, but also to animals. In the slaughterhouses, when you brush your teeth, you're literally killing thousands, if not millions of animals on your teeth. When you use chlorine or any cleaning products to disinfect your house or toilet, you're killing animals as well, all kinds of creatures. The fish are eating fish, and the birds are eating, you know, the bats are eating insects, you know, so let's not make a big thing of these things. Humans are not somehow more special than the animals. So everywhere that people die is, in a way, a thing that should have compassion for and empathy. But what I wanted to talk about today is for us to not be tricked. I mean, you see immediately what's going on in the news again. And what they're doing is they're fear-mongering, or in other words, they're, you know, 60 people or whatever were killed in France, in Paris, and first of all, we don't know who did it. And if you have any background into ISIS or anything, and you've done any studies with an open mind instead of just watching the mainstream media, which spoon-feeds you the nonsense that they want you to believe, then you know that ISIS is most likely not who they say they are, and they're most likely funded by people that if the population out there would know, they'd be, you know, horrified to know who is funding ISIS. From what I can see, and I don't claim to know the facts because these things can always change, but they seem to me like they are mercenaries, basically assassins, and they just kill whoever they are ordered to kill, which means the one who pays best. And tomorrow, if they want to kill another group, they'll kill another group when they're told so, because they're paid to do so. That's what I have gathered so far, but hey, God knows, you know. These things get so complex I don't even want to go into it. But most likely it's not a religious fanaticism, it's just money talks, you know, and you follow the money, you'll probably be really surprised who is funding these kinds of things, like in Paris and many other false flags in the world. So what I want to get to is why they do these kinds of things. Whether this thing is done unconsciously or consciously is another thing. I can leave that up to you to make any assumptions about that. But what I can say for sure is that whether unconscious or conscious, whether deliberate or just because of the nature of where we are now in the evolution of mankind and consciousness, when these things happen, it keeps us in the lower chakras, in the lower energy fields, in the fear, in the anger, in the frustration, in the, you know, that anxious feeling. And that is exactly, I think, what is the biggest problem here. Because what we want to do is we want to do the opposite. We want to go to a place where at least us, the people that are a little bit more awake, if I may say so, you know, I don't want to sound arrogant, but a little bit more conscious of what's going on in the actuality of things out there, instead of the spoon-fed, brainwashed, school indoctrinated, media indoctrinated systems that you get when you don't do your own research. Is that what we want to know is we want to embody love. We want to embody compassion. We want to embody empathy. We want to embody joy, bliss, fulfillment, well-being. What we want to do is we don't want that negative spiraling energy at the lower end of the base chakra levels of fear and anger and frustration and all this kind of stuff that's the lower energy fields to embody us. Because if you understand what some of these guys like Greg Braden speak about, or even the dream builders like Mary Morrissey or Tony Robbins, or any of these guys, Jack Canfield and things like that, people like that, they all know how to tap into the very fact that we are MaGrav emitters. We are plasmatic beings, we're consciousness, whatever you want to call it, and we are emanating what we are embodying. We are literally transmitters, receivers and transmitters. So if we are a receiver and transmitter, then what you're receiving, what you're embodying, what you're busy with, what your mind goes to, and is what you're going to be emitting. If you're going to get caught up in all this fear-mongering and Paris bombing, there's 5,000 children a day dying of hunger. And so what's 60 people out there, what are we talking about? But of course, it's not to belittle the people that were murdered or whatever happened over there, but it sure is to show you that don't be so occupied with the fear and the frustration and the anger, because that's exactly what's keeping the humanity at this moment in a lower level, which keeps us trapped in this thing. So if you'll see that all these false flag type of things and all this news, which is always negative with everybody dying, it keeps this energy down here. And because you are an electromagnetic or in a MaGrav system, a magnetic gravitational device, a toroidal field, then you're emanating that. So if you go to, I think it's the Heart Institute or something like that, Greg Braden speaks about it a lot. He has a really good video on YouTube about this, and he says, basically explaining that science even, and I'm not saying science is the one that needs to come with this, because science, is great, but not by any means a god, which is a little bit what's happened to the world right now. Science has become a god. But you'll find that when you have a negative thought, it links up to a negative emotion. And then when those emotions, when the thought is held long enough and the emotion is held long enough, and I think it's just a mere 10 seconds or something like this, basically that feeling, the two of them merging, the thoughts, the negative thoughts, and the negative emotion that it conjures, it literally conjures it up, which is black magic, right, in a way, and then it joins up in a feeling, and that feeling fills the heart. And the heart, being the MaGrav, being basically the toroidal field, the emitter, that's emitting the vibrational toroidal field, will then emanate, vibrate, radiate out what you are embodying. So we are literally receiver transmitters. And when we receive negativity and hold on to those thoughts, they join with the emotion, become a feeling, fills the heart, and the heart then becomes the toroidal field that emanates it out to everybody else. Therefore, creating the reality around us, attracting to us. The law of attraction comes from this. Now that your heart is filled with anger or fear or frustration towards ISIS or some other group, whether they're black or white or Muslim or Christian or Jewish or aliens or humans or Americans or whatever, Iranians, all these feelings are just illusional, and they just create this feeling which fills the heart, and then now you're attracting to you the very thing you embody. So what we're saying here is you'll see that you're literally a transmitter. So let's not get involved in the negative part. Let's embody the love, the compassion, the joy, the bliss, the good things. Why? Because I'm not talking mentally either. I'm not saying, oh, I want to be blissful. I'm not saying it's a mental thing at all. I'm saying that when you go within and you feel the well-being in the body, you want to call it plasma? Call it plasma. People do Reiki and things for healing, call it that. But I call it sensation or well-being. Because my hands are right now at this moment and all the time when I put my attention on it, definitely, they are emanating this vibrational tingling, this I call it well-being, sensating. It's this fine, almost like a current, like an electric current that's flowing through my hands, plasmatic energy. It's also in my face, in my nose, it's everywhere through the body, and it's also in the heart. Finally, it becomes one centered well-being, or whatever you want to call it. It is love, finally. And when you hold a positive thought, it joins up with a positive emotion, becomes a positive feeling, and then that positive feeling starts emanating from your heart. And therefore creating a beautiful paradise around you, attracting the things to you that you need to amplify the beauty. Because we are the transceivers. The receivers and transmitters. We are receiving, and then we're like reinforcing. It's like a capacitor. You could say, like, we're in a way, we are little antenna that receive whatever we receive and then amplify it. And so 7 billion of us, when we're fed the fear and the anger, we manifest fear and anger. That's why people like Alex Jones and stuff can be out there talking really a lot of negative stuff. Although they're trying to wake people up, they're really stuck in that negative fear-mongering level. And so they're left out there because they've become a tool for the dark side, if you wish. So we want to be the other. We want to do what Mahatma Gandhi say and be the change that you want to see in the world. Embody the change you want to see in the world. So when you see things like Paris, and that, don't go into fear, don't go into anger, don't go into frustration, don't go into, oh, these guys, what they're doing, false flags or ISIS or whatever you think, whoever's doing it, whether it's it's people behind it doing it, whether it's aliens doing it, whatever you want to believe in, I don't care. The problem is, don't put your attention on the negativity, because it is the manifestation of more negativity, more fear, and more war. We are the transceiver and emitters. So, be the love, be the compassion, be the silence, be the stillness, be the joy, be the empathy. Not by thought, not by concept, but by embodiment. Embody what you are. And you can feel the well-being. You can close your eyes, feel your lips, the tip of your nose. You can feel your hands. You're just alive, sensating. And then have compassion. Whether it is the elites that are doing these things, whether it's ISIS, they're just lost souls in a way. They are God forgotten their true nature. They're the universe that is manifesting it currently in such a way that it doesn't know the others around themselves to be them, it, the whole. So they don't recognize. So forgive them, for they know not what they do. Have compassion, even for the one who hurts you, who hurts your family. Is the greatest gift to not go into fear and anger, frustration and hate, but actually know that they too are the universe in a way lost, ignorant of their true nature. And therefore, the only reason they hurt, the only reason they would blow people up and shoot people and go to war and manipulate the way they're manipulating is because they have lost contact with their true nature. And let us hold that space, hold that love. Hold that bliss, hold that joy, hold that well-being, hold that compassion, hold that empathy, hold the love. And therefore emit it and transmit it and radiate it like a toroidal emanating an antenna of love, of compassion, of beauty and joy. Be the change you want to see in the world means embody it. Don't let any event like Paris suddenly put you back and become a transmitter again of fear and anger. Stay with the love, be the love, embody the love. We don't need more people talking about love. We don't need people writing about love. We need people that embody love. And for those who know what I'm talking about, for those who can feel the sensating aliveness of your body, the love, the well-being, the joy, the plasma field, whatever you want to call it, hold on to that. Emanate it. Be the change. Be the change.